Rust is fixed. Oh my God. I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. I can breathe better.
Oh my God! Wow!
Oh God, we have so much body work to do now. And I still need to weld the quarters. Shit.
What?
We are back on the beautiful 1966 Ford Thunderbird that we're going to be doing a giveaway on. And in this video, I'm going to fix all of the rust in the car. If you have watched any of the prior videos, the rust has been extremely bad, way more than I was expecting. I had to build the quarter panel from scratch, had to make a lot of other stuff, and the more I've worked on it, the more rust I've found. The fact that I just said I'm going to fix all of it in this video is probably going to end up biting me in the ass by the time I'm done with it, but hey, let's dig in and start cutting some stuff. In the last video on this beautiful beast, we ended up getting all of the rust fixed on the body. Quarter panels, fenders, rocker, just everything. There was rust everywhere. The more I dig in, the more rust I find, naturally. But whenever we were doing the quarter panels, I knew I had some rust in the trunk that needed addressed, and I got to playing with it. Realized it was much worse than I thought. The leaf spring is actually poking through the trunk. That's a leaf spring. Oh. This is the part of the video where Richard puts the wah, wah, wah sound. And the way the gas tank is on a 1966 Thunderbird, it is butted up right against the trunk panel. I mean, it essentially bolts to it the way the gas tank strap is. So, before we do any cutting, before we do anything crazy around the trunk, we have to get the gas tank out. And it's a really stupid design. The drain is not at the bottom of the tank, it's at the side of the tank. Don't know how that's gonna work out, we're about to find out, but we have to get the gas tank out. I don't like welding around gas tanks anyways, and when it's literally touching the metal I need to cut off, you just absolutely have to. So, first thing we're gonna do, before we do anything fun, is get the stupid gas tank out. Let's go. Holy shit! This had a lot more gas in it than I thought it did. It came shooting out. I was expecting like a cute little dribble. It shot against the damn wall.
That's what she said.
Oh my God. I started undoing it because I was like, I don't think it has that much in it. I started undoing the line up there and it already started leaking. I was like, we better just take it easy. And then holy shit, thank God I drained it. I didn't think since the drain plug was way up there it would work very good. It's working fine. I gotta go find another bucket, damn it. So this is one of the dumbest designs I've ever seen. Not only is it not at the bottom of the tank, it's at the side. Whenever it gets low enough to start draining, it hits the leaf spring and gets everywhere. So I had to take 30 minutes and hose the shop out. Still reeks like gas in here. I got a bitchin' headache. Even, air compressor. Even after all that, I probably still have 5 gallons in the tank because the drain's only there. I saw online where guys will drop the tank and then lean it to one side, but even then you never get it all out. Let's keep working. Pray we don't get any more gas on us because I love cars, hate the smell of gas. It's just been around me and on me too much. If I never have to do another Thunderbird gas tank for the rest of my life, it'll still be too soon. Oh, it's gonna spill everywhere because it's stupid. Oh, God, it's so full still. Don't tip, don't tip. Don't tip. Oh, it spilled. What is that? Oh, that's the vent. Oh, my God. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh no. One of the self-tappers went through the tank. Oh, I'm gonna have to give Dalton some shit about that. One of the self-tappers went through the tank. Were they up here somewhere? Yeah, they were right there. See it? I think it was that one. Right there. Whoopsie! That's all right. We'll fix that before we get back. I ain't welding it, I'll tell you that. I don't weld on gas tanks if they've had gas in them. You can technically fill them up with soapy water, but we're not doing that. Since it's at the very, very top, I'll just use one of those like fiberglass repair kits that you get at the parts store. If it was new, I'd weld it, but There was a guy years ago that I knew who was welding on a Harley tank. It was like a 50-year-old tank, hadn't had gas in it for decades. Went boom on him, messed his hand up real bad. So I don't play games with welding on gas tanks. I don't even like welding on the car when they're in the... I don't even like welding on the car when they're in still. And I'm really glad I took this one out because it had a friggin' hole in it. That would have been bad, bad, bad. I'm gonna friggin' waste another half hour and hose the shop out because all of that puddle is new. That's not soapy water for me. That is gas again. Yay! Okay, gas tank is out. That is not how I wanted to spend the first, I don't know, 3 hours of this video. Actual time to take the gas tank out, maybe 20 minutes. Maybe 30. It kind of has a funky filler neck. It like threads in, but there's no rubber. It's metal to metal, just real like fornication style. Yeah, that's technically that works. So that's a little weird, but got it out. The draining took forever, and then the way the drain plug is, when you get it down, it's half full. I mean, what? I don't know why you have a drain plug if it's on the side at the halfway mark, but either way, no big deal. Got it. Washed the shop out 2 separate times. Still stinks like hell in here, but I know everything has been covered with soapy water, so nothing should catch on fire. We're going to keep the hose on and outside just in case. But now we can finally start working on what we needed to work on. If you watched the last video, I started doing rust repair. I got all the rust repair done on the body panels on the outside of the car, and now we are focusing on the inside. There's 2 little spots on the frame I want to fix, literally about that big. Those will take 10 minutes, no big deal. These, however, are pretty big spots. This is a leaf spring mount, and as you can tell, it is not mounted. This giant piece of angle iron is supposed to weld right here, but rust got to it, ripped off. You can actually see the spot welds on where it used to be, so we're going to beef all this up. I'm going to put a big old giant piece here. The good news is our frame right here is very strong. This is a unibody, so technically it's a subframe, but it's still a frame rail. That's very solid, so we can build off of that. And then we need to cover all this with sheet metal. We also need to cover this. There was a sign here that Polebarngarage put, and I didn't watch this whole video, so I had thought that this whole trunk was gone. It's really not nearly as bad as I thought. It's really, you could get real cute with it and just cut it down there. I'm gonna probably come way back here so that we know we have good metal, but I mean, it's not the worst by any means. It's just a giant 90 too. It's not super complex. If I wanted to get really, really cute with it, if I was trying to do like a 100-point restoration, I would match the bead rolls to match the stock. Ain't doing any of that. We're just gonna weld some big old thick sheet metal in there, call it good, and have some fun. But first thing I want to mess with is this. Oh wow, wait. I didn't know that wasn't attached. Is the other one attached? Now I'm curious. Oh, that one's on there, good. Okay, well, we might take those off anyway. I don't like how red they are. So anyways, we are going to focus on this first because there's no point of covering anything up if we have actual structure work that needs done. And I'm going to take this plate off of this. Can't really tell, but those little nubs that are all rusted to shit, that is the ends of bolts. These are bolted in from the bottom. Pretty sure they're never going to come off, but I don't know. They might be so rusted they just snap. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make this whole big piece here out of a giant piece of angle iron and butt it right up against this and then kind of box it all in and be super strong. Let's see if that comes off. Most likely we're gonna cut it. Let's cut some shit or unbolt some shit. Most likely cut some shit. Let's go. Look at that bolt. It's actually coming off. I can't believe that. That's amazing. I assumed they were all snap and they all came off normal. Oh, you bastard. Get out. Now, is it rusted solid is the next question. Yep. Ha! Bolts are all out. Son of a bitch. Ah, let's get the air chisel. So this is what was holding up the leaf spring. It bolts in there, sits here. That is rusted off. I mean, better than halfway. And there was one spot weld still holding it on right there. So that's why the floor was flexing, because this whole thing was moving up and down. We are definitely going to build it up a little stronger than that. I saw this giant thick plate and I thought it was all the way up, but it was just the plate on the bottom and then a little, I don't know, 1/8 inch piece, maybe less on the side. I don't know why you wouldn't make the side piece as thick as the bottom, but hey, whatever. We're going to redesign it better. I'm going to do this, big weld, and then a big plate on top to tie all this shit in together. And then my plate will actually go all the way back to here and then across. So I think I even have giant angle iron already. Ooh, yes I do, I see it. Sweet. The only thing that sucks about overbuilding stuff and making it out of giant thick plate is it is a pain in the ass to work, pain in the ass to drill. But once it's done, boy, it's nice. I went to the other side, the passenger side, where luckily everything is still intact, and I figured out exactly where it should go. I thought this went all the way up to the bottom of the floor. It doesn't, it's down 2 inches. So I had to move everything down, kind of recut some stuff, but now we're good. Now I know exactly where it has to be for the other side. Okay, we can bolt this to the leaf spring now, get the leaf spring in there, make sure everything is square, and then finally weld it into the car and then brace the living hell out of it after it's welded in. Let's go! All right, last of the welds for the structure shit. Everything else is basically sheet metal, which is nice. This took forever. Shit, I got one down there too. I'll be completely honest with you. This isn't the prettiest repair I've ever made, but it is plenty strong. Holy crap. Shit, I just missed another weld. All right, I'm gonna hit that real quick and then we're done. All right, she ain't the prettiest, but 1/4 inch thick angle iron that way and down. 1/4 inch thick angle iron that way and down. 1/4 inch plate there, sandwiched between another 1/4 inch plate. 1/4 inch plate across. And then I put another 1/4 inch plate there, so it's like this thick. That's the frame rail. I have 1/2 inch thick of plate welded to all the frame rails, all the boxes. She's good. I just jacked it up under the leaf spring, picked the whole car up, nothing flexing, everything looking great. Very happy about that. I had thought originally that this was all the way up to the top of the floor so that you needed a real thick brace across the top, because that's kind of what they did over there. But that's really not needed. It's all boxed in down there, and the original box, the top of it was rusted out, but there is a plate that is bolted and welded to the inner frame that was still there on the inside. So I tied everything into that and then made my own. That's perfect, which is nice. Now I don't need to put like a 12 gauge 3/16 plate across here. I can just put sheet metal across here. I have some, I thought it was 18 gauge hot roll. I think it's 16. It's so thick. I was trying to bend it. It doesn't want to bend. I'm pretty sure it's 16 gauge. So I'm going to do all that with this. But the first thing I got to do before I replace anything is cut out all the rot. I know this is solid. I know that's rusty. So we need to come in here and kind of whittle it around. I talked about in my last video, whenever you are doing your sheet metal work on quarter panels, you want to make sure your welds are butt welded so that there's no gap for rust to get in there. You do not have to do that so much with floors because they are overlapped from the factory. Overlap, overlap, overlap. You just really got to prep it well, and you want to put like a weld through primer or a glue on the inside of it and then weld the living shit out of it. Makes it a little bit stronger. It's not as pretty either, but who gives a shit if it's pretty? It's the floor. So that's what we're going to do, but I still like to get them as close as I can to button it up. Like I said, if this was a restoration, we do it a different way, but we're trying to make it a daily. It's just a little nicer than a daily. Technically, it was already a daily because I was driving it around the way it was, but we want a nice paint job. We don't want any rust. We want to make sure it's safe. So that's the plan. Let's cut some rust, and then we'll put some sheet metal in this baby. Let's go. one hell of a cut. Probably didn't need to do it that much. Could have got away with a lot less. But hey, sometimes you just gotta cut some shit. Whoa. All right. Figured out where I needed to make the cut. Made the cut. Looks kind of crazy right now when you stop and look at it. But, you know, hey, this is tomorrow Casey's problem. Present Casey, I'm just having fun cutting some shit up. Tomorrow when I come in, though, I'm going to go, what the shit? But hey, I'm done for the day. This was a very long day. The gas situation made it fun and stinky and took too long. But really, really happy to get that braced all to shit. Looks good. Not too bad. Tomorrow we will come in. I got to clean up all the edges on this before I start making my metal templates and everything. This piece is mostly flat, and then we got to get a little whoopy up there, but not too much. Actually, now that I look at this side, they just made it flat on this side. So, I don't know, maybe I'll do that. oh, never mind. It's dented. It has to have a dent in it because that's where the gas filler tube goes. That makes more sense then, because I was going, wait, that doesn't look right. But yeah, we're back tomorrow, baby. This is a good day. Got a lot of shit done. Sweet.
The next day.
All right, we are back. It's time to get dirty, filthy, rusty, grindy, and then a little weldy. Here's my only problem. Not necessarily a problem, just kind of a pain in the ass. I don't have just regular 18 gauge sheet metal right now. I currently have some hot rolled sheet metal. I bitched about it, I don't know, 2 videos ago. Luckily, I had some 18 gauge laying around. I found it at the other shop. But I've used all that on the quarter panels and the fenders and all the other rust we had. So now I'm at the point where I need to use the hot rolled. It's a pain in the ass. It said it was 18 gauge. It feels like 16. You basically have to cut it like you would plate steel. Can't use shears on it. It has mill scale on it, yada yada. Perfect for floors, but just really heavy-duty shit. It's not fun to work with. Contacted my other sheet metal guy, or sheet metal supplier, to get a couple sheets in, but they're not going to have them for a couple days. So, basically, I'm just whining to wine right now, because I got to use what I got. So, I got to clean up some rust around here, get the paint off, and then we will take some measurements and cut some hot-rolled sheet metal. Blech! All right, let's go. Check it out. So the other day, whenever I got hot rolled sheet metal that I didn't want, what I did was I had them do a bunch of 90-degree bends for me because the sheet metal place that I go to, whoa, accidentally zoomed in, sorry. They have a 20-foot metal brake. I have a 3-foot one. So if I ever want super long 90-degree bends, I have them do it while I'm cutting the metal, or while I'm buying the metal. And then I had them cut up the rest of the sheet. That way I could use it however I wanted. Like I said, this is hot rolled. I don't love it. It's usable for shit like this, but it would have been a pain in the ass to try and use it on the quarter panels. The reason I said all that was to say, these 90-degree sections are working perfect for this because I can box it in. Whereas if I was just trying to put flat sheet in there, not only would I not have strength, I would have to put a 90 on it anyway to kind of tie it into the frame rails that are still solid. So I got started. I'm just going to go all around the edges with 90 degree, kind of like I got, and then super strong. I haven't even put the centerpiece in yet. I haven't even welded it yet. I just got some self-tappers in there to hold it before I weld it. And already, this floor is stronger than it was. So, very, very excited. My ass is dragging, though. This stuff does suck to work with. You got to grind the mill scale off. You can use vinegar and kind of eat it off. I've done that on smaller parts before, but this is literally a 10-foot by 4-foot sheet. It would take forever. So, even though it takes forever, it's quicker just to grind it off with a flap disc real quick and make sure, because you can't really weld over mill scale. It just doesn't weld great. So any spot that might have a weld, I have to hit with a grinder. Takes way too long, but we're looking pretty damn good. One thing, I was throwing this in the scrap pile, and I realized the gas tank strap mounts were at the bottom of the rusty trunk floor. So we're definitely going to have to cut those off and reuse them because those are our hangers to the gas tank, obviously. And what's cool is those go at the very, very front. So it's going to be 2 different pieces of 90 degree, and then they're tied in real close to the frame rail. So this is going to be super strong for the gas tank. Very, very happy with that. And then I'll probably go ahead and put some more reinforcement there as well. But definitely need to cut those 2 little brackets out before I chuck that piece. And I'm glad I caught that. I remembered they were there, but as I was cutting shit, I forgot about it. So really, really good start to this. I'm going to take the rest of the day and go sit on my ass because this was dirty and gross, and I only worked a couple, 3-4 hours, and I just feel yucky. So we'll be back, baby.
The next day.
All right, baby, we are back. We got to cut a bunch of metal for the trunk. I already got basically the edges sitting in there, still not welded, but I got them screwed in where they're going to be and clamped, so I got everything where it needs to be. We just have to put our flat sheet in now. If this was a nicer car, I would roll the bead rolls to make it match the factory bead rolling, but we're not doing that. We're putting flat sheets in there. We're going to weld the living shit out of it. So I need to get that cut. Once the trunk is done, I think we have fixed all of the rust other than the battery box. Yep, that needs cut out. That's not even really that bad, but we'll cut it out and then we'll put our aftermarket one in there, but we're gonna have to modify the aftermarket one, which is a pain in the ass, but shouldn't be that big of a deal. We got a lot of cutting and welding to do, so let's get to it. Time lapse away, baby. Check it out. I got my pieces cut. I got them fitting. Had to do some cutting, had to do some trimming. I got a couple tack welds in and then a bunch of self-tappers. Some people might look at the self-tappers and go, why are you doing that if you are welding it? I use self-tappers because they pull the metal together and then I can get a weld on it, pull the self-tapper out, and then weld the hole full. Now, if I was doing a butt weld, let's say, where you're not overlapping like I am in some of these spots, like right here is a butt weld, you can still use self-tappers when they're like out of the way, weld that, and then what you would do if this was needed to be butt welded as well, you take those out and then you run a cutter right there to get rid of the excess piece and then butt weld it. But we're not doing all that for a trunk. We're just gonna do her the way it was from factory. Overlap, overlap, overlap. I have it all screwed in, fitting good, everything looks great. It looks a lot better than I thought considering we weren't doing the bead rolls. Now we just have to weld the living shit out of all of it. And then we will move on to the battery rust. Oh shit, I still have to replace, did I throw it away? Nope, still have to replace the gas tank straps. I'll cut those off and do that. But I need to put those in whenever I put the gas tank back in. And I don't want to put the gas tank in just yet because we still need to weld all of the quarter panels up and some other stuff. And I don't like having them in. I'll put the gas tank in at the very end. So I will cut those out and then put them in the trunk so I don't lose them somewhere. And they'll be super easy to make. They were actually bolted in originally. 2 of the back ones had bolts in them. I basically just said all that to say I'm getting ready to weld for like the next hour. And I just wanted to take a break and talk to the camera. All right, let's weld some shit. All right, last welds in the trunk. All right, I'm gonna grind it real quick. I caught something on fire. Oh, never mind, it quit. I'm gonna grind this real quick and then we'll get a good look at it. Okay, we are done with the trunk. Holy crap. The rust is 100% cut out of all of the trunk. I got it replaced with new metal. I decided to go ahead and do some bead rolling because I do want it to match, you know, the stock trunk. It's good to do, you know, just really good metal work whenever you're doing it. So I got some amazingly perfect bead rolling right there on that. Just matches the stock one. I actually I forgot to add some here. Hold on. Let's Oh. Yeah, make sure that lines up real good. And then these are kind of small little guys. Let's do it like that right there too. And then it kind of blends into those. Oh my God, I'm the best. Oh shit, forgot. Get some bead rolling there too. And then we blended it in real good. That's why I'm the best, to be honest with you, because I go the extra mile to do it right. Those took me 6 or 7 hours to add those bead rolls in, and I'll be honest with you, love the way they look. Okay, rust is fixed in the trunk. Rust is fixed on the body. The last spot that we have to deal with, other than surface rust all around this trunk, but I don't see any holes in there. Shit like that I can hit with a wire wheel. We'll do that whenever we go to prime it. The last bit of rust that we need to fix on this stupid car is right there. And I don't know how I'm gonna do it yet. Most likely I'm gonna cut all that out, put a fresh sheet of sheet metal on there, and then put our new battery box in there. But I don't know how the new battery box goes together just yet. It's one of those cheapy ones on Amazon. It's like 20 bucks. You put it together. So I'm going to assemble that. We'll see what it looks like. And then see how much we have to cut it up to even make the damn thing work. And then we'll go from there and figure out how much we got to cut out. Most likely I'll cut this whole bottom out and then just have a flat sheet there. And then our aftermarket one will go on top. I'm not sure yet. We're going to find out together. Let's go. I'll be honest with you, I did the Casey thing and got way too cute with this. Ended up cutting the whole thing out, basically. Let's just make an inner fender from scratch. Why wouldn't you? It's only time. Wow, that's a lot of welding. Okay, cool. Let me show you what we got. I got all of that cut out and made a new piece. Now we can start fitting the battery box in there. And it'll bolt in down here, maybe? I don't know how I want to bolt it in yet. But yeah, I'm going to grind it real quick and then we'll figure out how I'm going to put that in there. Not sure yet. Battery. Rust is fixed. And we have a badass battery box in there. It's not going anywhere, low profile. I actually sunk it down about 1 inch from where it was, just in case we want to run a taller battery. We don't need to. And then boom, where's my ground at? Uh-oh, oh, there it is. And then boom. Oh, I need to replace that anyway. That needs to be a little bit longer. Sweet! Rust is fixed. Oh my God. I feel like a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. I can breathe better.
Oh my God! Wow!
Oh, God. We have so much body work to do now. Damn it, and I still need to weld the quarters. Shit.
What?
I can't tell you how happy I am to get all of the rust fixed in this thing. We still need to do some welding on the quarter panels. The good news is that'll probably only take about an hour. No big deal. They're already made. They're already fitting. We just need to weld them, grind them down, and then we will be starting body work, which I am super excited about. We are going to be doing a giveaway on this Thunderbird whenever she's all done and painted. The interior is already nice. It's already running and driving great. We already lowered it. We just got to get a nice paint job on it. And then it's time to do a giveaway because I have a lot of cool stuff coming back to the shop and I need to get this thing out of here. I got too many cars right now. Probably going to do a giveaway on a couple of them. Might do the lowrider van. We're going to be painting it up next. That was a good one that time. So really, really excited. Whenever we're doing body work on this one next week, I'm gonna get the old man down here. I'm gonna start guilt tripping him. You know, Dad, I need help. This Thunderbird just needs your master body working skills. And while he's here, I'm gonna push him over on the CRX. I'm just gonna force him. He's like 6'8", 250 pounds, but I'm like 6'6", so it's not that big of a difference. I'm gonna get his ass over there and make him start doing some body work because this should be farther along than it is, but we've been building a lot of really cool cars. Bodywork sucks, takes forever. If you haven't watched any of the CRX videos, this thing is gonna be perfect We haven't cut any corners at all. Let me tell you, there's a big difference between this paint job and that paint job. So that one's gonna be a while either way, but I still think we can get him doing some block sanding at least next week. So stay tuned for all that. So happy to get the rust on this thing. We also did it super cheap, super budget friendly. Obviously, I always say this, anytime you do something cheap on, you know, a tight budget, you end up replacing time for money. I have almost nothing in all the rust repair on this thing. Probably a couple $100 worth of work, but I mean, $100 worth of sheet metal for all this, literally, maybe less. So yeah, it's a nice way to do it. It makes it nice on the bank, but boy, you work a lot of hours, but at the end, you can be proud of it. I am so happy with these quarter panels, you have no idea. And I'm really excited to get this stuff painted. I want to get it in primer next week. That's another lofty goal, but hey, I made a lofty goal this week to try and get all the rust done, and we did. So it might happen, I don't know. If you aren't subscribed, please hit that button now. Go to Caseyscustoms.com for the coolest merchandise on the planet. Currently have a 20% off everything on the site. I just tripped on a piece of metal. Everything on the site at checkout. So put it in your cart, and then when you go to pay, it will be 20% off everything. That ends today. It was a Memorial Week sale. It ends Friday night, I think, at midnight. So you have today, if you're watching right now, go get yourself a hat, get yourself a t-shirt, whatever you want. We also updated a bunch of sizes, a bunch of colors. I had a bunch of guys asking for 4 and 5XL shirts. I added all of those to every single item in the shop. So if you're one of those guys, go check it out now. Even those bigger sizes are all 20% off. Today is the last day. So if you are not subscribed, please hit that button now. Thank you very much for watching. If you are not subscribed, please hit that button now. Thank you very much for watching. Please like, share, comment, all the good shit they tell you at the end of videos. Check out some of my other videos. Peace, I love you. Toothless Customs out. Can't believe this is still going on, but at this point, we're gonna make merch from it, I think, because it's like a mascot of the channel. Love you, bye.